Two brothers. Long ago, in a quiet village, lived a humble and poor man named Gil-dong, and his older brother Gil-song, who was rich but greedy. Gil-dong always helped others with a kind heart, but Gil-song treated others with cold indifference. Gil-dong's children were weak from hunger, and his wife, her face filled with worry, quietly told him that the rice was all gone. Gil-dong pressed his lips together and let out a deep sigh, wondering how to endure the day. After much thought, he packed a small bundle and walked toward his brother Gil-song's house. He bowed his head and asked for help, but Gil-song harshly turned him away. Gil-dong, still hoping for kindness, quietly asked once more. But Gil-song's wife raised a rice scoop and slammed the door shut. With nothing in hand, Gil-dong returned home with drooping shoulders, his steps heavy and his heart even heavier. Gil-dong looked down, unable to find the words for his children. He feared they might all go to bed hungry that night. That day, the Gil-dong family went without a single meal. The next morning, Gil-dong's wife spotted something outside and gasped in shock. A snake was slithering near the tree, threatening a swallow's nest. High in the nest, the mother swallow flapped her wings fiercely, pecking at the snake's head to drive it away. Startled, the snake slithered away, but in its retreat, it shook the nest. One of the baby swallows lost its balance and tumbled out of the nest. Gil-dong's wife rushed over and knelt beside the fallen chick, her voice trembling with worry. She could see that its tiny leg was bent at an odd angle. Gil-dong gently scooped up the injured baby swallow with both hands, holding it close as if cradling a fragile treasure. Seeing how weak and exposed it was, he knew it couldn't stay there. He placed the little bird on a soft cloth inside a small box and began tending to its broken leg with great care. The children gathered around their father, eyes wide with concern as they looked at the tiny bird. Sensing their worry, Gil-dong offered a gentle smile, hoping to ease their hearts. He assured them that with rest and care, the little swallow would soon recover. And though he didn't say it aloud, he hoped his children would remember this, that whenever someone is in need, we must always lend a helping hand. The next year, the swallow Gil-dong had helped returned. It dropped a small seed into the yard and flew away. Gil-dong, unsure of what it was, still felt grateful. He planted it, and soon a large gourd began to grow. Before long, the gourd had grown so large that Gil-dong's wife couldn't hide her surprise. She suggested they open it, hoping to share whatever was inside with the children. If it was this big, she thought, it might be enough to feed the whole family for the day. With nothing else to eat, Gil-dong's family decided to open the gourd, hoping there might be something inside. But the moment they cut it open, their eyes widened in disbelief. Grains, treasures, and glittering riches poured out from inside. In an instant, the poor family had become rich. When Gil-song heard the news, greed stirred in his heart. He thought that if he copied Gil-dong, he could become even richer. So he climbed up to a nest, grabbed a swallow, and cruelly broke its leg. Then, pretending to be kind, he bandaged the injury as if he were helping. He whispered to the bird, hoping it would bring him a bigger seed. Gil-song and his wife looked down at the crying bird with smug, wicked smiles. The following year, the swallow Gil-song had helped returned with a gourd seed. Gil-song planted the seed, and when the giant gourd ripened, he eagerly cut it open. But instead of treasure, terrifying goblins burst out from inside. His children screamed in fear, calling out for their parents. The goblins wreaked havoc, turning the whole house upside down. Gil-song and his wife wept in despair, pounding the floor with regret. After suffering hunger and cold, the greedy family finally realized their mistake. They decided to go to Gil-dong's home and ask for forgiveness. Gil-song returned to Gil-dong's home with heavy steps, burdened by guilt and regret. He had finally come to understand how deeply his actions had hurt his brother. His wife stood quietly beside him, her heart weighed down by shame and remorse. Gil-dong's wife looked to her husband, wondering if he could truly forgive them. But Gil-dong had never once held hatred in his heart. Even through hardship, he had only hoped that someday they could understand each other. In that quiet moment, he reached out his hand ready to begin again, together. Moved by Gil-dong's sincere compassion, Gil-song felt something shift deep within his heart. For the first time, he saw clearly how greedy and selfish he had been. He no longer wished to live for himself alone, but to follow the kindness his brother had shown. From that day forward, the two families supported one another, sharing laughter and living in harmony.